Everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do The Moon is Following Us, issue number 4 from Image Comics, and we're going to dive right in. So, the last issue was revealed that this snake person was none other than Samantha's mother, who died a year ago in the real world. This is the dream world, right? And she has Penny. And then Duncan here, he says, "Hang on, Sam, we're coming." So the frog calls Brio or Brio, says, "Hey, we're surrounded." And then Duncan says, "Do you ever read X-Men comics?" He says, "What? Huh?" But then the dead snake woman, puts Penny to sleep. And then she's taking her away. Says, "Samantha, honey, I'm sorry, but you cannot come with us." And then Duncan says, "Ready? I can't believe I'm doing this." So this so-called Fastball special, I guess, right? If you are an X-Men fan, you probably know what I'm talking about. So he's, bouncing off the snake woman and grabs Penny, right? And then they are being surrounded by those evil minions because there's too many. But then explosions happens around there, and there's this helicopter that shoots rockets at them. So it's the Queen actually comes in to rescue her, and Queen says, "Hey, they're regrouping." And so Frog says, "We're on board, go, go, go." And I like this. I really like this. This comic is really has a lot of surprises that you don't see coming. It's very unpredictable, and that's what I like. I mean, using the rollerblades to cut into the enemy, although it doesn't do anything. I mean, much. She says, "Violence cannot touch me." Maybe because it's the dream world. I don't know. I'm just guessing, right? But these minions are done for. And so Brio says, "Can we get any faster?" Well, it's a little bit hard. And then Samantha, "Penny, are you okay? Shouldn't she be waking up? We have her now." He says, "We got company." So the dead snake woman with the big snake are, following them, but they also almost at the clear. But then, oh no, they were too slow. And the woman says, "She is mine now." And it looks great. So he says, "I cannot let you take her away." But then, oh no, Penny is falling out of the helicopter that's being crushed by the snake. And then the Queen, what's her name? Queen Ashley? Isn't that right? Queen Ashley. Yeah, Queen Ashley is just jumping after her. Very heroic, but she has some things at her that gives her the ability to fly and catches then Penny. The other ones just jump out just in time to safety. And then Queen Ashley says, "Nothing to worry about now, my dear. Let's get you." And then, oh no. And she says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't save you." And she's probably dead. And the mother says, the dead mother says, "This is the way it should be," and just goes away. Poor Ashley. I was a little bit fond of her. Anyway, so Tash comes in, the wizard. He says, "We received a radio message from the Queen. She said you run into trouble." And where is Battlebeer? And where's Queen Ashley? And Duncan says, I failed both of them." "Yes, Duncan, because you are a wuss. That's why." So they're blaming themselves, right? So Samantha says, "We gave them everything we had, Tess. It still wasn't enough. What do we do? How do we save her now?" So and then a voice says, "We take things to the next level. A level that only I can get you to." So Pigface, call him Batman, has an idea. But then we go back to the real world, where Penny is still stuck in the dream world. All her physical body is lying in bed. And Duncan is here. Tash is here and says, "Why was my mother under the mask? What are we dealing with?" says Samantha. I said, "I don't know. You said you take care of us. Who else could possibly have answers? Every time we come up with a solution, we take 2 steps back." So Tash says, "Since I've begun helping families like yours," so he's doing this probably a long time, I didn't know that, "I try to find a reason for the cascade. But the frustrating truth is that they take on many different forms, each one specific to the child they inhabit. Your daughter must have a stark memory of when her grandmother died, How long has it been? Well, a year. But the first time you brought us into her dreams, there were two figures. Where's the other one? Good question, right? There was two snake people. Well, Tash says, whatever the case, the cascade is obviously being organized by both of these figments of in her dreams. And if you can take him out, my money is that she will wake up. So, you sure Pigface can help us? The chopper didn't do much, he says. All right. Sorry, there's a little bit of light coming in. Your connection to the dream world has been through cold technology. I found a way to amplify your dream connections, a nuclear option, if you will. This will allow Pigface to harvest what he needs directly from your earthly bodies. So Duncan says, well, the last time it felt like he was taking away our lives. Well, that's it. It's a lifesteal. It's a drain. Right? But if this will work, this will help Penny. So he says, hey, I found this place while we're trying to save my own daughter. It goes deeper than any other for over 1,000 miles. It has a connection to the grounds, giving us a pathway to our dreams. It's the same concept as what is in your house. So in her house, they have this technology, this VR technology, to go into the dream world, right? But this has a tree, but instead of, roots, it's replacing cables with roots. This looks cool. Like I said, it throws me as a reader, a lot of surprises and things that said, okay, what is next on the next page? What can you surprise me with next time? All right. So Duncan says, wait a minute, I have to take care of the light. So that's better. So why did you take us here earlier? Well, Tash says there is some risks because if you're going in, you won't be able to come back to the real world. So there has some risks. Any injuries you sustain there will have to be dealt with until you are victorious. And if we die there, you'll be trapped forever. All right, Samantha just wants to get in, and Duncan, of course, are you sure? Maybe you should talk. It's just, what do we need to talk about? We don't have any choice. It's just something's not right. Your mom, whoever that was, she was cut in half and she barely blinked. Well, Samantha says we have to do it, right? We have to come up with another solution. So this isn't a rescue mission anymore, Duncan. This is war. And he looks down. Dude, stop being so weak, man. Just man up and go in. I mean, I can't stand these people, these guys, these weak men. I mean, there was some in previous issue, I believe he was more, have a heroic trait, just doing what needs to be done. But he's always hesitating, always doubting himself, and just do it, dude. And so he says, Tash, is it going to work? Sleep now. Let us save your daughter together. All right, so they're in the dream world, right, with Pigface. Are they ready? We're here, aren't we? Let's get this over with. Very well, let's prepare yourselves. And so he's using his tentacles to drain the life force out of them. And says, yes, yes. And then probably a flashback with Penny here. There's probably a memory, I guess. And Duncan says, it's too much. And they remember the face of Penny. You worry that you're giving up too much of yourselves, that you made the wrong choice, says Pigface. I guarantee you this is not the case. So basically he's using the life force to create these constructs, I guess. Because this is a dream world, but he needs power to do it. Looks pretty awesome. I didn't expect that. Okay, we have this super cool car here. So they're basically then going to war with modern day technology, if you will. So Brio comes in and says, hey, the gnomes are back from patrol. They saw a massive amount of cascade forces moving to our camp. Yeah, so they are probably now being invaded. They go into the offensive. And so they need to prepare for war. The final battle is now in hand. And that leads us to the next issue. Sorry, there's some funny things in here. Normally this is the other way around, right? But still. All right. So pretty cool. I like that. I'm invested in this series. I enjoy this very much. I think the art is good. It really complements the style and the story that's been told. This whole fantasy, nice colors as well, I must say, and lots of surprises and lots of funny things, maybe unintentional, but still, it is cool. I like it. Let me know in the comments what you think about it, guys. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave a like, leave a comment. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.